Hi there, folks. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I thought I should keep in touch with folks. This is going to be a bit of a show and tell. I'm going to show you some of the items that I picked up at recent gun shows. I like a good gun show. In fact, I like a bad gun show. I like pretty well any gun show I can get to, and I do my best to get to any of the ones that are within reasonable driving distance. So without further ado, let's have a look at some of the treasures that I got at recent gun shows. So first up, we have a Harris bench rest model bipod. And these are the bipods that clip onto the sling swivel studs of a rifle. And this was quite a good deal. This is $30, and these things generally go for over $150 for a brand new one, at least up here in Canada. And this is the bench rest model. It's got the BR stamped on it there, as you can see. And I believe this is an authentic Harris one, not an Asian knockoff. And these shorter ones are quite handy for shooting off a bench, especially at our local range, which is sort of downhill, and a regular height bipod is not that useful there. So this will be put to really good use. I'm sure it will find a semi-permanent home on one rifle or another. So very happy to pick that up. Always shopping around for spare mags, and sometimes not spare mags, just for mags that a person needs. At the moment, I'm in the market for a 222 magazine for a Savage 340, so if I find one of those anytime soon, I'll be pretty happy. But I did find some other mags, ones I wasn't necessarily looking for but needed, and some that I did need. So this is one of those sort of nice-to-have items. This is a Walther P38 or P1 magazine. One of the vendors had this in a box on his table for the very reasonable price of $30. These often go up here for, $65 to $75. So very pleased to have a spare mag for the Walther, especially for reasonable money, and it seems to be in pretty nice shape as well. Another magazine that was handy to pick up. This is for a Winchester 490, a 10-round mag. I have a 5-round mag for a 490. It's nice to have a 10-rounder to go with the 5-rounder, and I think I paid either $15 or $20 for that, which is quite a reasonable price. Appears to be in good functional shape, so that'll be nice to have. These were an exceedingly good deal. There was a Ziploc plastic bag on one of the vendors' tables, and it had no price on it. So it never hurts to ask. I asked the gentleman how much he wanted for the mags, and he said $40 for the pair of them. And that is a smoking deal. These are for a Bruno or CZ 511. And if you're familiar with those magazines, they are kind of hard to come by, and when you do find them, they're generally fairly expensive. So very pleased to have a couple of these for $20 each. So great deal on those. Very pleased to put those away for use with my CZ. Another great deal on mags. I was actually looking for these. I've actually looked for them at a couple of gun shows and just happened to find them at the last one. And these are Smith & Wesson Model 39 magazines. And these just are not that common to find up here. They're you can get them, but if you are going to get them, they're going to cost you $75 to $100 per mag for a factory original one. I am not sure if these are original or reproduction ones. I think they're Smith & Wesson ones, but you guys probably know better. You can see it's marked Smith & Wesson on the bottom. Anyway, these were a great deal. These were $25 each. Very, very pleased to get these for that kind of price. One of them appears to be brand new and never even put in a gun. The other one seems to have a few little marks on it. But I haven't tried these out yet, but I'm very pleased to have those. I have the pistol, but I have only the one magazine that came with it, so it's nice to have a couple of spares. Be even nicer to have a couple more spares, but a couple extras better than no extras at all. A little bit of ammo came my way, not very much. The last gun show I was at, I managed to find a box of this PPU brand 6.5 by 54 Mannlicher Schnauer ammo. I was in the market for some of this, and I found a partial box last month. The exact same loading as this. This is taped shut. I guess I better not be prying at the end of it. We'll open the other end up. I was looking for some of this, and I didn't get a terribly good deal on it. It was $45 for the box, but beggars can't be choosers. You don't see this stuff very often, so kind of nice to have almost 2 complete boxes of factory ammo for the little 6.5 Carcano converted 6.5 by 54 MS rifle that I've got. So hopefully that can appear in a video sometime in the near future, because I actually have some factory ammo for it now. So pleased to have that, even though I didn't get a great deal on it, but at least it was at least the price was a tax included price, so better than 45 bucks plus the taxes, I guess. Carrying on with ammo, this is some stuff that I've had over the years. The Remington CB22 low velocity. Remington still makes the CB load, but it's a high velocity load. This is the really low speed stuff. Should be interesting to try this in a couple of different things to see how it works. You can see it's a 30 grain bullet at 720 feet per second. So this is a little bit older production stuff, but kind of fun to get a box of this. Solid round nose stuff. Very quiet, very low powered. Kind of turns your 22 into almost an air rifle. So those were $5, and Buddy threw in another box of 22, just random 22 ammo into it while I was buying it, so they actually cost me $2.50, so can't complain about that. Next up, we have a couple of boxes of old Norinco brand 9x18 Makarov, and this stuff was $10 a box. And it's kind of funny, I have bought a couple of boxes of this from the gentleman who had them at almost every gun show, and I think these are the last 2 boxes of this stuff that he had. So I think he told me that I ended up pretty much buying all of it. So $10 a box for 9x18. It's just steel case, but hey, good to have it for $10 a box. So that way I have a few rounds around that I don't have to chase, because I can just leave that on the ground when it's fired. All right, so that's a very minimal amount of ammo was bought. Let's see, what do we got next? Reloading stuff. Well, this is something I don't really have an immediate use for. It is a set of Bonanza reloading dies, but I figured I'd buy these when the opportunity presented itself, because they are just an unusual caliber, and if I don't get a firearm that uses this caliber, I can always move these along to another home. So you can see there, it is 5.6 by 50, which is a German caliber, and these are, as you can tell, these are Bonanza bench rest type dies. We got the conventional looking full-length sizing die, and then we have the bench rest seating die, which has got an insert in there. There's kind of a half sophisticated die set there, and these has a traveling seater with a spring behind it, so that basically when you go to seat the bullet, it holds everything, it holds the bullet in alignment with the cartridge case as it seats it. So these are actually a multi-part die, very nicely made, and you can see there's the internal traveling expander, and there's a spring in there, and there's the tip that basically seats the bullet, and then this collar that lines everything up while it's going together. So those were not a tremendously good deal, but you know, sometimes you buy this stuff when it's in front of you. If you wait till you need it, you're probably never going to find it. So we'll just put those in the stash for future use, or to trade or sell if somebody else needs them more than I do. The box is a little bit ratty perhaps there, but 5.6 by 50 rimmed Bonanza bench rest die. So those are kind of cool. Picked up a couple of bullet molds. This is an old Lyman mold. It's somebody's reboxed it here, but it is actually a 225450 mold, and this is an old set of blocks. You can see they are Ideal brand. 225450 is the bullet number, and there's a couple of bullets still in there. kind of an unusual mold, 22 caliber mold with a very sharply pointed nose to it. I've already been using this set of blocks, and they produce, there's some issues with them. They don't close quite as tight as they ought to, so I have some fine tuning to do that. I've gotten them better. They were making bullets that had a lot of fins when I started, and I've gotten that reduced down, but they are still making bullets which are probably 2.5 thou bigger than they ought to. So there's some more work to be done to these blocks, but we're getting there. Some more fine tuning, and I think I'll have a usable set of blocks. I don't hold a lot of promise for this style of mold as far as accuracy goes, but I got a pretty good deal on these, so they were worth the risk. Another 22 caliber mold. This is a slightly newer generation of Lyman mold, and by newer I mean 30 years old instead of 60 years old. I actually have a set of these blocks already, but the ones I have are a single cavity. So when the opportunity came along to buy double cavity ones, I'm going to take advantage of it, especially with a reasonable price. So these are 225 415, and this is a nice little bullet. It's funny, a lot of people, you can tell I haven't used these yet. The preservative is still sort of sticking them together. I did have them apart before. There we go. The brown on them is, there's a little bit of rust on that one, I think. Yeah, just surface stuff. Nothing to get too excited about. Somebody put some preservative on them, but I guess they didn't get it quite all the way down there on one side. But that'll clean out. Anyway, it's a flat-nosed 55 grain bullet, and my experience with the single cavity one was that it was pretty accurate design, so it'd be nice to make twice as many in the same amount of time having the double cavity mold. So let's see, what else did we get? We got some pretty good deals on some reloading bullets. So I'll just put this aside so I don't waste too much of your time. So here are several boxes of older Sierra bullets, 55 grain semi-pointed. Another box of 55 grain Spitzers. This was full when I got it. I used half of them up already. Old boxes of Sierra bullets. Unfortunately, these came from the estate of one of the guys who used to have tables at a gun show, so it's a bit bittersweet to get a deal on something because the gentleman passed away of cancer there, I guess, within the last 6 or 8 months. So a bit sad, but anyway, I guess his stuff has to go to somebody, and I might as well have the use of some of it. These are 63 grain semi-points, these 2 boxes here, and these were a really good deal. I got the 4 boxes of those for $20, so pretty hard to walk away from that as a deal. Now, the next box of stuff, let's see, I got a big box of stuff, and we'll just slide it out here. There are bags and bags of reloading bullets. These are mostly soft points, and they range from, there's 270s, there are 6.5 diameter bullets, pulled ones, those are military ones. We have a few just, handfuls of this and that. Some 170 grain 30-30 type bullets. What else do we have here? 30 caliber 165 grain boat tails. And a lot of these, there's not really enough of them to do anything useful with other than foul your barrel a little bit, but some of them, though, there are significant enough quantities. There's some 303 174 grain round nose bullets. There's 25 of those. We have got 6mm bullets. There's a pretty good dose of those. So 110 of those 82nd grain spire points. We got some 309 diameter soft points there, 77 of those. What else do we have here? We've got this is some bullets that I don't have a use for, and they're 347 diameter bullets. I don't have a 348 Winchester, but I got a few bullets in case I do. More 6mm bullets, 170 of these 100 grain round nose bullets. And I suspect what happened was somebody must have had a flood or something, and the boxes got destroyed, or they were just at a point where they weren't usable. So they cut the tabs off the ends of the boxes and threw everything in bags. So there we go. We've got some more 150 grain spire points. These aren't necessarily in the bags with the prices that they started off with. Some 110 grain 308 spire points. Let's see, 35 caliber 200 grain round nose bullets, 55 of those. A bunch of Hornady XTP bullets, 158 grain hollow points. What else do we have here? We have some 308 caliber Barnes 150 grain soft points, some 150 grain round nose soft points. These other bullets were ones that were in bags, but I took them out and put them in some spare boxes I had floating around. So we got some 190 grain 30 caliber hollow point boat tail match bullets. Some of these were stained, and I ran them through the wet tumbler with stainless steel pins and Lemmy Shine to clean them up. We've got some 165 grain spire points. They just keep going here, don't they? 150 grain round noses. They'd be good for like a 30-30, I would expect. We're getting to the end here. Almost all of them. Some 310 70 grain round nose bullets. That would be for like a 30 Luger, I think. Is that what those would be for? Or perhaps a 7.65 pistol of some sort or another. Let's see. Get these open. Some 150 grain 308 round nose bullets. And the last box of them here, some 123 grain pulled military type full metal jacket bullets. And I think those are steel jacketed ones, but they are lead core as far as I can tell. So altogether, I counted those all up. I got 1,248 bullets altogether, and they cost me the princely sum of $70 for all those. So there's a lot of fun to be had in that box of miscellaneous bullets. Some of them there's not enough of to do anything really worthwhile with, but just load a few shots here and there. Some of the other ones there's enough you could actually do some real work with it. All right, we're getting down to the end of what I got here. And lastly, some books. It's kind of unfortunate how the price of books has really taken a tumble because people don't seem to want to read books anymore. They want to read everything on the internet, and I guess I'm slightly guilty of that as well. Anyway, I got five books here for $10 for the 5 books. So this one's kind of cool. It's a 1940 Shooter's Bible reproduction, and that's, you know, if you're a gun nut, this is the kind of stuff you can sit down and leaf through and wish you lived in the olden days when things were really quite a lot cheaper. So pretty cool old book, or reproduction of an old book. Kind of a trashed copy of Cartridges of the World by Barnes, you know, but for $2, you know, I have a copy of this, but it doesn't hurt to have another copy floating around. I can leave one in the reloading room and one on the bookshelf, and this one can get beat to crap if it needs to, and it was $2. A 1968 Shooter's Bible. Once again, kind of cool to look through and see what was available. These are handy for reference if you want to figure out how old an item is. And, you know, you can look through, if you have the collection of these, you can look through the books and see when things became available in the Shooter's Bible and the Gun Digest, and then when they were discontinued. We have a 1974 Shooter's Bible, same idea. And finally, a 1970s Shooter's Bible. So, you know, once again, for $2, if you looked at it for 10 minutes, you know, you've done all right. Anyway, I guess that'll do it for now. That was my the bulk of my treasures. I'm probably forgetting one or two things which are put away. Oh, I do recall having bought a box of 32 Remington 32 ACP ammo for a good price, but I think that's in the ammo locker already. And there might be a couple of other little odds and ends, but nothing too major. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this somewhat long-winded look at my treasures from the gun show. And if you're still with me, well, thanks for hanging around, and we'll talk to you later.